Bonjour, bonjour, mon petit souffle. Amber here. Disregard this, we are not using this right now. So, what you're about to watch is my September vlog, right? Don't know when this is going up. And as you can see, or can possibly guess, it is no longer September. It is actually the end of October. This whole broken hard drive thing is throwing me off because I am still working on my September edit. By still, I mean I'm just starting to edit my September vlog. That being said, when I opened the file to start editing this video, I realized, well, initially I thought that I didn't have, I never filmed an intro. And then I discovered last night that I'm very wrong about that, actually. That I have the audio clip where I was recording on my microphone or my phone or whatever for clearer audio, which, you know, I do when the mood strikes. And there's a 7-minute audio clip of me introducing this video. Where's the video clip? I don't know. I don't know if I filmed it and accidentally deleted it. I didn't save it somewhere else. I checked all of my other non-broken storage devices. It's not there. What possibly happened was during this video, during this month, my camera was glitching for some reason. I would start recording something and there would be an error. It would error and it would stop recording. And like everything that I had just said would be lost. So what possibly most likely happened is I was talking, did a whole clip, and thought I had completed and was successful, and it glitched or didn't actually save to the SD card. So here we are, October 26th. Hello, hi, welcome to September. So September is a transition month. I wanted the books that I was going to be reading to be autumnal, but not fully spooky yet. I just wanted to set the vibe and ease into spooky season, especially considering what I knew I'd be reading in October. So in this month, in September, I complete the Earthseed duology. Calling it a duology is so strange because I know there was going to be a third book by Octavia Butler with Parable of the Talents. I read my first Brontë novel. Applause, applause, applause. I was going to read Wuthering Heights and Jane Eyre, but I only got around to Wuthering Heights after I read that. I was just like, okay, I need, let's reset. Especially because like that was like the first classic novel in God knows how long that I read solely physically without like the assistance of an audiobook. Once again, round of applause. Thank you so much. What else did I read? And then I read two sort of like paranormal contemporary romance, both of them involving kitchen witches. I read Deja Brew by Celestine Martin, as well as Best Text Ever by Nadia El-Fassi, both of which I've had for a while and kind of been saving for this season. Am I forgetting something? Oh, and because September, it's dark academia. It's the back to school season. It's that like academic time of the year. So I read, I can't remember, Blood Over Bright Haven by M.L. Lang, just sort of like a fantasy, sort of sci-fi almost, dark academia. Anyway, you'll see everything that I read once you keep watching. I know in that clip, because I listened to all 7 minutes of it, that I did tell you what I was going to read. Anyway, here's September. So Parable of the Talents is a sequel, so I really can't tell you too much about what's going on, but on page 15, we are discussing, I guess, the man that's running for president of the U.S. And this just kind of struck a chord with me. The current state of the country does not suit him. He wants to take us all back to some magical time when everyone believed in the same God, worshipped him in the same way, and understood that their safety in the universe depended on completing the same religious rituals and stomping anyone who was different. There was never such a time in this country. But these days, when more than half of the people in the country can't read at all, history is just one more vast unknown to them. And then we skim down, and Jared's people have been known to beat or drive out Unitarians, for goodness sake. Jared condemns the burnings, but does so in such mild language that his people are free to hear what they want to hear. As for the beatings, the tarring and feathering, and the destruction of heathen houses of devil worship, he has a simple answer. Join us. Our doors are open to every nationality, every race. Leave your sinful past behind and become one of us. Help us to make America great again. This book came out in 1998. It's already too much. Hi, so I'd like to briefly talk about page 59, if I may. So we're talking about trees, specifically the redwoods and their destruction, basically, and the changing of the climate. Nevertheless, young redwood trees, those about a century old, not yet mature, are withering. A few miles to the north and south of us, in the old national and state parks, the groves of ancient giants still stand. A few hundred acres of them here and there have been released by the government, sold to wealthy, usually foreign interests, and logged. And squatters have cut and burned a number of individual trees as usual to build shelters and feed cooking fires. But the majority of the protected ones, millennia old, resistant to disease, fire, and climate change, still stand. If people let them alone, they will go on, childless, anachronistic, but still alive, still reaching futilely skyward. And I just recently learned about Big Lonely Doug on TikTok. He's the last old growth tree in this forest, this area in Vancouver, on Vancouver Island in British Columbia, which, he was once once among this huge grove of trees that had never ever been cut down, and then they were all logged except for poor Doug. He is by himself amongst the bones of his family, and in the TikTok you just see all of the centuries worth of the rings and the chopped down trunks, and it's honestly just so devastating. It's so devastating, so heartbreaking. As a nature enthusiast, I mean, as also an earth and being alive and the well-being of nature, of everybody in this ecosystem, it's heartbreaking, it's devastating, and this just reminded me of Doug and our trees and the redwoods and the state, the national and state parks, and what is happening to them and the attack that they are under. Okay. Hello. Just popping in to give a quick update on Parable of the Talents. I am currently on page 236, just past the halfway point. I was going to do this update yesterday, and at the time I was prepared to talk about how, while the writing of this book is absolutely magnificent, and this book it's terrifying, and it's everything, absolutely everything the first book was. I was struggling to, I guess, attach to the book or fully get invested. And I think part of that was to do with the fact that I went into it expecting all of the same rush of emotions that I felt reading Parable of the Sower. That being said, we are now at a point where the plot, the story, the events that are going on have shifted drastically. And I am, one, shocked, appalled, disgusted, infuriated, but also like really intrigued to see what happens, the outcome, and eventually how we circle back to the present. And I'm not saying this correctly, but today in particular, I am torn between the thought of, is this the book that I want to be reading for my birthday? It's my birthday. Woo. But while is Miss Octavia Butler, it is that girl, it is a spectacular book, it is also chaotic and traumatic and intense and dark and infuriating, like I said, and just, it's so many things that, do I want to feel them today? But at the same time, I have the thought that if I slow down and lose momentum, I will step out of the momentum. And do I want that? No, absolutely not. I could ideally finish this book in 2 days, and that's always the goal. So we'll see what happens. It's just after 7. I've only read 20 pages today, so does this choice really matter in the long run? Not really. Seems like just the environment and everything else is making the decision for me, but I am going to keep pushing and just be happy with whatever pages I get read today. But yes, I just wanted to tell you where we were, I was. Yeah, I'll see you. Bye.
Got something to say, why don't you speak it out loud? Instead of living
Hello. First things first, my necklaces are back. They are back where they belong. They have been found. They have been found. If you don't know, my necklaces that I rarely go without have been missing for like almost like over a month now, basically. There's a lot of drama around that, but and it's some signs from the ancestors that have been listened to, but they're back. They've been found today. Everything's right in the world. Number two, I finished Parable of the Talents last night. And I have thoughts. And I wrote them down. That's upside down. I wrote them down. So I'd like to quickly share what I wrote before my camera starts glitching again. I'm so scared of what's going on with my camera right now. Anywho, okay. I said, I can't believe it's taken until my big age to discover Octavia Butler, and it is now catching up to me how profound her loss was and remains to be, honestly. This writing is absolutely unmatched. That being said, the detachment that I found myself feeling remained until the end. I'm not sure if detachment is the right word, but there was a step of removal from the story that I was reading. I still believe that part of it is because of my expectations and intense love of book one. But I also believe that the fact that this is essentially a Lauren Olamina biography removed something from Lauren and reading her journal in real time, like in book one. While there was a lot happening in this book, this book is a lot more settled and grounded than Sower, with its nonstop chaos and trauma. Earthseed has been established, so now 5 years, I believe, later, Lauren's focus is keeping it alive and growing her following in the face of and under the boot of violent, MAGA-esque Christian nationalism and a fascist regime. I very much see what Lauren and Acorn go through rising in the US again. I mean, it's already happening at an alarming rate. I do appreciate that through our actual main character, Larkin or Asha, we see a world after this level of fascism. Do I think we'll experience that? My hope is very shaky, and I am not a natural optimist. Anyway, like Miss Butler said, this is a book of solutions. I just hope we don't have to physically leave the earth to find ours. Oh, also, before I go, why do I never see these books listed with other culty books? I mean, yes, this is the dystopian series, but hello? Like, hello? I'm very glad to have gotten through this book. I am kind of sad that this ride is over. Obviously, I will continue consuming at an alarming rate Octavia's other books. I plan to possibly read Fledgling next month as part of my spooky season TBR. But as of right now I'm not reading today. I'm kind of taking a break. I might start reading a little later. I don't know. Depends on where my mind's at. But when I do start my next book, I think I'm going to read I always do this, Best Hex Ever by Nadia El Fassi. I think a cute little, possibly autumnal. It feels autumnal. Doesn't this take place at some point around Halloween? Yeah. So autumnal romance will definitely my more serious, more I guess the reads that require more of my brain. So I am excited to finally read this book. I have such high hopes that this is going to be everything to me, and it follows a kitchen witch, and I'm very much in a fall baking and like cooking mood. In fact, I'm making soup right now. It is in my crock pot. um so yeah, that's today. I just wanted to give you an update. One, to give you an update, and two, so I can like let my brain and let myself move on from Parable of the Talents and continue reading through my TBR. Okay, so I'm gonna go before my camera decides that it does not want to play nice with me anymore. So Hello, you can't see me, but that's fine. I don't know why, I just felt the need. I've been using these same 2 postcards, bookmarks, for like months, and I feel like I need to swap them out for autumn, even though this one is autumnal. I think this is my business casual bookmark, and I believe that is the fall one of Love Lights. But I got my, I didn't find it, I knew where it was, but I took out, finally, I found the energy to take out my little bookmark pouch. So let's see what's in the Barney bag. It's honestly been so long since I've gone in here. Jesus. You can also see the fact that I have an obscene bookmark hoarding problem. That's fine. It's whatever. It's been lifelong. I don't intend to find any treatment for it. Alright. This one is a postcard, okay. Oh yeah. No, you're using that one. That's okay. Let's see, what do we got? What's this one? I also have a lot of bookmarks from boxes, and I don't know why I keep the packaging. I also kind of find one that maybe matches the theme, like the books that I'm reading. I mean, Coraline is always a go-to for fall. This one actually is a postcard. This is from Claire when she was in Thailand. Another little creepy little girl. Maybe. This is more like an October, November. This one. I have a bunch of postcards in here. Okay, this one's from Maggie. And this one is from Claire as well. That's me. I bought these ones are mine. I bought them. I sent this one to myself from Montreal. And this one is from a shop in media that I love. It's just a Delco postcard. This is not supposed to be a tour. And this one I bought as well. I have to organize. That's cute. Maybe. I also have Wednesday, so instead of Coraline, I might go with my girl Wednesday. I also usually go with my Poe bookmark. I keep forgetting that I have these. I keep forgetting I have these Arthur bookmarks. What are these? Oh, these are tabbies. Alright. Alaska, maybe. I feel like since I'm reading some classics, I'm reading some Brontë, I feel like Mr. Bridgerton might need to be utilized. I wish I knew where my Simon bookmark is. I thought I just found that, but I have Simon and Anthony. I hope that the shop where I get these from, does a Benedict one, because I need the big three. I need a George one also. I'm just yapping, I'm sorry. 6 Crimson Queens, Ace of Spades, Narnia's Winter. Oh, I got this one from Urban Outfitters, and I put just some cute Polaroids I have in there. Me and my mommy. And then me and Becca. Okay, so yeah, I think Anthony and where'd she go? And Wednesday are gonna be for the rest of this autumnal season. And maybe this one. This little Death Before DNF. It's very cute. I got it from Owl Crate back when I was still subscribed to Owl Crate. Thank you for going on this journey with me. I've been taught it's 6 minutes. This was not supposed to be 6 minutes. That's definitely too much soup for me. I keep walking into this. One thing about me, love a cookbook. So I'm waiting for my mom to come upstairs, and this is gorgeous. This is gorgeous, and I kind of think I need it. Bethlehem, a celebration of Palestinian food. But then there's also Palestine. Then there's also the Palestinian table. And then there's also the Zaytun, recipes from the Palestinian kitchen. So many to choose from, and I want them all. I know that's right, Barnes & Noble. Birthday outfit came, and it's beautiful, and I'm obsessed with it, and I am no longer celebrating my birthday, so realistically don't think I'm ever gonna wear it, but it's fine. Everything's fine. Yeah, this is how I feel. Let's try this again. I tried to film this clip earlier. I tried to film this clip earlier, and not only was it giving rambling, incoherent mess, but then my battery died. So let's take from a sign from above and let's try this again. So I finished Best Text Ever the other day. I meant, in fact, to do this recap the same evening when I got home from my mother's doctor's appointment, which is where I finished reading this book. But my God, was I exhausted when I got home. In fact, my mom had 2 doctor's appointments. And then in between the 2, popped into Sephora so I could get my Christmas birthday gift. And then I had a grand old time in the bookstore. And between that and the weather, which was rainy and gloomy and just the most perfect fall day, I was absolutely knackered, babes, when I got home. So here we are, finished Best Text Ever. I don't remember if I ever actually properly told you what this book's about, so I'm going to try to do that really quickly. This is where I failed before. So in this book, we follow Dina and Scott. Dina is a witch. She is a kitchen witch, and she runs, I think her cafe is called Serendipity. She is a cafe owner, and she infuses her magic in her baked goods and delicious, yummy drinks. On the other side of that is Scott, who is I think he's a curator, I believe. He's a curator at the British Museum, and he is about to open this exhibition about good luck charms around the world, I believe, or is it just the Middle East and North Africa? One of those. And essentially his goal is to return artifacts where they have been stolen from, essentially. Love that king behavior. Anyway, so these 2 meet when Scott winds up in her cafe. He ends up knocking the charm off of the door of the cafe and breaking it, and that kind of sets off their interaction. And then later we all find out that they are the respective best man and maid of honor for like their respective like best friends upcoming wedding. This takes place over the wedding weekend and after a bunch of like shenanigans and matchmaking antics. They are forced together, they get closer and closer. Obviously there is already an attraction there from the moment that they met. However, the more she gets to know Scott, the closer they get, the more worried and scared Dina gets. And she is struggling, fighting the urge, the desire to let him closer and to properly get to know him and let whatever it is between them become something real, because Dina is hexed. There is a hex on her and her love life that anyone that falls in love with her will end up hurt, and she refuses to let Scott be the next victim of this. That is best hex ever. And I have thoughts. Right, okay. Nope, this is not the right page. Not even the right month. Okay. This is what I managed to write down when I got home. I honestly don't know the last time I felt so conflicted about a book. Was this a cute, fun, little spooky seasonal romance? Yeah. Was this what I needed as an in-between filler book? Yes. Did I, for the most part, enjoy my time with this book? Yes. Now, was the speed of Dina and Scott's feelings and relationship a little off-putting? Like I get that the majority of this book takes place over a wedding weekend, so counting the day they meet It's maybe 4 days. And I'm sure the element of magic and fate and whatnot plays a heavy part, but the insta love, insta lust, insta horny. hmm It gave me a bit of pause, especially in moments like uh, them, them having sex for the first time and Dina turning down Scott's offer to show her his STI results um, because she trusts him. Pardon? Did the writing at times feel a little immature and unedited? Also, yes. The sex scenes felt repetitive and almost like the author was kind of guessing. I mean, there's like some praise kinkage going on, but like in its most basic and experienced form that does not ever deviate just from simply good girl. But like even the basic English. Hold on, let me see if I can find what page this was on because I want to read it as it is. Uh, it's towards the end. I know that much. Okay, I don't know where it is, but there's a point where it says he was livid with anger. He was livid with anger. Livid anger. You could have just said livid. He was livid. There's no other. He wasn't livid with joy. He wasn't livid with confusion. Anywho, so yeah, okay. The magic at times felt a little too bibbly bobbly boo for me. Whatever. Also, why was everyone and everything constantly hissing? What in the reptile house is going on? What in the Garden of Eden is happening here? Or maybe it's a cat reference because she does have a cat. Hmm. It's like in Twilight, the first Twilight book, the vampires hiss for some reason. I don't even remember if it continues, but there were so many elements and plot points that were never actually developed and kind of just and were just kind of and were kind of just tossed to the wayside. Like the fact that Scott was supposed to be helping Dina find what Amaz. I was supposed to look up the pronunciation of this. I'll insert it in a minute.
The pronunciation of this word is as Amazigh, Amazigh, Amazigh.
Amazigh. I still don't think that's right. The Amazigh tribe that her mother comes from in Morocco. They were going to present her mother with like this framed map. I would have loved to actually have read a scene like that. I felt like the whole revelation and conclusion regarding the hex was a bit anticlimactic and too quick, too simple. Anyway, I liked it. I'm already in a baking mood, but this really has me itching to get in the kitchen and to make some autumnal goodies and to restock my herbs. I haven't made myself a good tea in a minute. Will I read the sequel that's coming out in a couple of days? Yeah, I sure will. I sure will. So now I am moving on to Wuthering Heights. I'm a little nervous. It's fine. It's whatever. Classics always are a daunting field for me. But I'm hopeful. And I chose Wuthering Heights over Jane Eyre right now because with all of the talk and hype surrounding Wuthering Heights and the movie, is it Margot Robbie and Jacob O'Lordy that's coming out, all the hoopla surrounding that. Like, you know what? That seems like that has to be a sign that that's the one I should read right now. One, so I can insert myself in the conversation. I want to be in the room where it happens. So yes, that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. Hello friendies, today is the 20th. That took entirely too long. The 20th of September, and I quickly just wanted to pop in. I've been meaning to do this for like 2 days now, but we're energized right now. We are up and about, and there are like 2 shots of espresso rushing through my veins right now. So I did just want to update you really quick and let you know that I have finished my first ever Brontë novel. Round of applause, applause, applause. Shout out to my fellow Jonas girlies. Anyway, I have finished my first ever Brontë novel. I finished Wuthering Heights 2 days ago now. No. It would have been Thursday, I think, that I finished reading this book. I finished it in like 3 days. Who am I? And I was able to write down some thoughts. I am trying really hard now to make a point to write down my thoughts after, when they're still fresh and kind of coherent. And I've been trying to make an effort to really use my brain cells to properly convey how I feel about what I've just read. And I've been able to pull it off with just about every book this month. Let's keep this momentum rolling as we ease out of September. Anywho, Wuthering Heights. I did it. I read my first Brontë, and I read it completely, physically. This is the first classic of this era in which I didn't need the assistance of an audiobook. First, I'd like to state, I think I might have already, that I chose this book because at the time of choosing between this and Jane Eyre, I felt with all of the hoopla and the talk around the Margot Robbie, Jacob Elordi quote unquote adaptation or whatever we're getting of Wuthering Heights, I felt like that was a sign that I should read this first. And because I wanted to be in the room where it happened, I wanted to know why people were throwing fits about the trailer and just what we've seen, and I get it. But I also feel like, because like a lot of people have said, because of Wuthering Heights in quotes, that it's not going to be a direct adaptation. And I don't remember what booktuber I was watching, but they stated like they're ready for this Saltburnification of Wuthering Heights. And look, I'm just here to see that giant man be broody, even though I am livid. I'm livid that they cast a white man to play Heathcliff, but Dev Patel was right there. I'm just saying, if you couldn't cast someone of like Romani heritage, because he is referred to by the G slur that I won't say, if you were not going to cast a Romani actor and just wanted a brown man, my boogie butt Dev Patel was right there, and he suits a period piece so well. Anywho, I really had no idea what to expect going into this book. While I haven't read Jane Eyre, I've seen multiple movie adaptations, including the PBS 2006 adaptation that at the time I only watched because Georgie Henley, aka Miss Lucy Pevensey herself, was playing young Jane. So I'm pretty familiar with the story. Not so in this case. All I really knew was the time period and that some of the characters were pretty unlikable. Some. Every single person in this book is absolutely awful, and I find that kind of fascinating. This is a book steeped in toxicity and obsession and vengeance. Wuthering Heights is often presented as a romantic book for some reason. It's actually pretty horrific. It is. Following cycles of violence and abuse, and there's a fair bit of incest in there too. Annoyingly, I couldn't stop thinking about how New Moon was written to parallel this book after Twilight was like Romeo and Juliet. I mean, she succeeded in the whole everyone is toxic and obsessive in a gloomy atmosphere, and the object of everyone's affection is driven to madness by this love. Honestly, despite having to read many a passage multiple times because the language used made me feel a little stupid, despite the fact that I subconsciously understood everything, I had a grand old time with this book. I get the esteem it has maintained through the decades. Will I still be reading Jane Eyre this month? I don't know. I don't know. My brain's very tired after reading this book. So because I knew what was up going into, well, when I was setting up my TBR, I am reading Deja Brew right now by Celestine Martin. I have like just under 100 pages. I've been flying through this book, and I'm so happy to report, you know, I was nervous going into this because I couldn't stand, not Wishful Thinking, I like that one, whatever the second one was, Kiss and Spell. This one I think is my favorite of the three. I think this is my favorite. I think I love this even more than Wishful Thinking. I'm loving Serena and Gus. Ugh, they're so cute and they're dynamic and just and I love the whole concept of like the time loop, or like us traveling back in time and redoing the whole month. I don't know if I mentioned, this book follows Serena and Gus. Serena, as I did mention, is a kitchen witch. She comes from this highly esteemed family of witches in this magical hidden town on the Jersey Shore. Okay, was not there when I was up there in May. I looked. And Gus, who comes from this like super popular family of magicians, his family actually has this popular Kardashian style reality show where I guess it follows them and their antics in their magic show in Vegas, where I believe that they kind of use their magic but make it seem like it's all pretend, you know. Very sleight of hand, pick a card, rabbit out your hat. This starts on Halloween. After so much chaos in the worst month possible, Serena's kind of fumbling and spiraling, and she has like lost her way. She has lost her love of her magic and her passion for cooking, and she's kind of lost her chance at her dream job, she ends up at Gus's birthday party, and they kind of have a moment in the kitchen, and after more disaster, and she ends up making a wish to have a second chance. She wakes up on October 1st, the next morning, and this is her second chance to find her passion, find her spark, her love of magic, her passion for cooking, her path to redeem herself for the interview for her dream job, and to figure out how she's going to stay in the grove or live the dream of this chef that she wants to be. It is also a second chance at a relationship with Gus that she didn't even think really possible before, because they had known each other kind of casually, crossed paths, knew mutual people, but never actually spent any time together, and now they get to know each other. Gus is after leaving his family's business, he now works at the as a history curator, professor type thing at the Freya Grove Historical Society or whatever. And he has her helping him decipher this very old kitchen witch journal that was dropped on his doorstep. So they have a mutual thing going on. I didn't tell you, she has asked him to help her find her fun, find her spark, because he kind of has this reputation. He had a reputation as the fun, good time guy, and when he left his family's show, he kind of left that behind after a heartbreak, and there's a lot going on, and I'm having a great time, and I can't wait to finish this book. I needed this. I needed this book, and this is the perfect buffer book between this and whatever I read next. And I'm just so happy, because I hated book 2, and I was hoping that I would find the love I had for book 1 again, and I love this even more. Usually I fall in love with the sequel, or a second book is always my bread and butter, but the trilogy, the conclusion.
The second reason is that I have a book that I need to read for Sunday, and it would be nice if for once I finish it on the day before the live show.
Looks like Paddington. Wait. Thank you. Good afternoon. If I'm talking quietly, I'm sitting in the stairwell in the hallway. Also, it's very hot in this stairwell, but I wanted to update you. I meant to do this yesterday, but I was up at 6 o'clock in the morning, and then was just going and didn't have time. I finished Deja Brew a couple days ago. I don't really have any differing opinions than last time I checked in when I was reading, possibly because I finished this the day after that. But I did want to share what I wrote down upon finishing this book. And I'm going to try to do this quickly because I am sweating and I'm wearing a sweater. Okay, I know I've already said this, but my God, I am so relieved. I'm so relieved. Witchful thinking came into my life when I was going through it in Anchorage, Alaska. I stumbled upon it in Fred Meyer, I believe that's what the store is called. It's basically Walmart. When I just desperately needed to find water, it was like half off, and then my mom bought it for me because I was sad. So I hold a very special place in my heart for this series, which is why I was absolutely hurt when I didn't enjoy Kiss and Spell, and then obviously couldn't touch the final book for an entire year. Two of my main issues with Kiss and Spell were, one, I didn't care about Ursula and her happy ending at all. I hated her in book 1, so I was never able to connect with her as a main character. And 2, I never believed in her relationship with Xavier and never actually felt their connection. Not at all the case with Deja Brew. I loved following Serena. I much prefer the Caraway sisters, and I honestly wish Callie were getting a book. I relate to Serena's struggle with self-doubt and struggling to find your passion for something you used to love. The only thing you thought you were good at, and trying desperately to get your spark back so you can live the life you deserve. I love her and Gus. I love the way this book plays with time and second chances and fate. Also, I love how the core of these books is family, blood, and found, and how at the end of the day their problems are solved together. For an only child, I really love the sisterhood in these stories. Anyway, I'm so glad I sucked it up and finally read this, that I got the conclusion I needed. Also, just what I needed after Hurricane Catherine and Heathcliff. So that being said, yesterday while I was out, I did start this boy. I did start Blood Over Bright Haven, and I'm already obsessed with it. I'm gonna be so real with you. I'm only 22 pages in, but the writing, if we continue the way with the trajectory and the prose and the way I'm automatically engrossed in the story and just wrapped around the writing and intrigued by these characters, this has the potential to already be a 5-star read for me. And I know that's too soon and I don't want to jinx it, but just from the jump, we are like, when we're introduced to Tomo and like his last moments with his family and his tribe, and just like going through all of that destruction and pain and loss, and right off the jump of this book, that's not a spoiler, we're told that happens on the flap of the book, but we're discussing Maeva, his sister. Maeva was quiet as Tomo slipped into a crouch at her side. Tomo had been taller than his older sister for half a decade now, but to him, she would always be a shelter, a hearth light when all other love had gone from the world. And no, this is the one that really got me. He opened his mouth to sob, but he was too weak to do more than wheeze. Tears trickled from his eyes into the hair at his temples, melting the crystallized sweat on his skin, and he hated himself for not being able to scream. The Kaldane were gone, along with all their skills and songs and love for one another. The earth should be shaking. The sky should tear open and wail for their loss. And here Tomo lay, gulping like a beached fish, unable to muster a sound. Heartbreaking, utterly devastating. Like, I feel that devastation like it's my own. So, oh my god, not all of this is sweat. So I am excited for this book to see where it's going. We're currently in our like main character's POV. Skiana, I believe is her name, which makes me think of The First Omen. That doesn't matter. I was a character in that movie. So the plan for today is to read this book. That's about it. I have some like cleaning, and I have some like writing, I have some scripting for a video for my second channel I need to do, but I'm like antsy to jump into this book. It's already later than I would like it to be getting started, but after yesterday I just needed I needed to just like have a slow wake up process. Yes, Okay. I'll see you later. Okay, y'all. Tracy Dion and Simon Teen just dropped. There is a Legendborn Collector's Edition coming out March 2026. My half birthday month. Bless the Lord. Look at this. Oh my God, take my money. Can you see Brie? Can you see Brie right there peeking through? It's so beautiful. So it's like giving medieval rare book. Oh, I can't. It says Legendborn Edition. I've always wanted a Legendborn Edition that looks and feels like a medieval rare book artifact plucked directly from the inside of Bree's world, and that's exactly what it is. It has a faux leather textured hard case with brand new cover art, full color end papers, filigree foil flourishes on cover, back, and spine, yada yada yada. 6 pieces of original medieval wood block style interior artwork, and never before seen Legendborn bonus scenes. Please take my money. Take my money. I just dropped to my knees.
Couldn't be happier.
It's more important than ever that you lift everyone's spirits.
People expect me to.
Bring me the room of the Wicked Witch of the West, so I have proof.
Just look at me.
No!
With your eyes.
No.
With theirs. I've heard.
No!
People come into our lives for a reason. Here's the plan. The call calls the morning as it passes the sun. Like a sheet of the sky above. The metal distance. This is the work of the Wicked Witch. You can say it hasn't changed for the better.
Are they flying?
What have you done to me?
Oh no! Oh no!
The money was all spent, so to our ships we went. The sea looked like whiskey, 'twas a lovely. So we set out to find Carthage, and we washed so far away of the bloody, bloody remains of Brontë.
Okay, hello. I need to wrap all this up. It's technically October 1st, but it is 1:51 in the morning. It is still September on the West Coast. So it's still September somewhere. So let me wrap this up and give you my final thoughts. I don't actually think that I checked in or popped in or talked to you at all while I was reading Blood Over Brighthaven. Sorry about it. I really did speed through this book, and I don't know, there wasn't much to input while I was reading. Actually, before I get started. Blood Over Brighthaven is on its surface, it is a dark academia book following Skiana, who is essentially, she's just become the first female mage in history in this world, in this like fantastical world where the mages essentially run everything, that they're the people of, what is this place called? Tyrion? Their entire livelihood, it keeps the city running, keeps like the lives convenient, you know, from running water to electricity to transportation and whatnot. So she's become the first female mage in this supremely misogynistic, patriarchal system. And because of this, as a joke, her colleagues, each mage is assigned an assistant. Her colleagues assign the janitor, Tomo, as a joke. He is not only a janitor, but he is Quinn. He is a Kaldane and had 10 years ago lost his entire tribe trying to escape from the blight, which is, I don't even know how to describe it because it's not a disease. It is just a force that obliterates whatever it touches, and it is running rampant out in the Quinn and among the tribes, but not within Tyrion, I believe that's what it's called, with it, that is behind the safety of the border. Anywho, so they give him to her as her assistant, and instead of like cowering and making a big deal, she accepts it and accepts the challenge. Skiana is single-minded, obsessive about her magic, and only cares about anything to do with magic. She is very narrow-sighted, especially when it comes to the world around her. She's a bit much. So this kind of follows, she's been assigned to the team that's supposed to be working on the border expansion project, and during that time a lot of truths are unveiled, a lot of revelations and I guess learning is done. Yeah, okay. So I struggled actually to put my thoughts into words for the longest time. That's why it's taken me this long. I was trying for days to like figure out how I wanted to word my thoughts on this book. I did manage to write a couple things down yesterday, so we're just gonna zoop through this really quick. Okay, I said Blood Over Brighthaven by M.L. Wang. I said, I don't know why I'm struggling so much to articulate my thoughts on this book. While I appreciate the themes of anti-colonialism, patriarchy, and how you can be oppressed as a woman and still uphold systems of oppression and supremacy when it benefits you, a lesson for all those feminists who still haven't quite grasped the concept of intersectionality. I know a couple. Unlearning bigoted beliefs and coming out of a corrupt religious mindset. Following Skiana through this arc was difficult, which I know is the intent. I'm actually quite impressed with the way this book ended. So many satisfying moments. But yeah, instead of stressing over trying to put all my feelings into words, I'm just gonna move on. Just know this book is fantastic for the most part for the message it's trying to convey. I will say I wish there were more chapters from Tomo's point of view, aside from the fact that I love him and his voice is more important here. I really enjoyed the writing style M.L. Wang employed for him, especially the opening of the book. I wanted more of that, but I guess it really emphasizes the stark differences between him and Skiana. So yeah, for the most part, I really enjoyed this book. There are some things, I think the reason why I kind of am like removed from fully loving it is, well, like I said, I know it's intentional, but Skiana is so difficult to read as a person that is a part of a marginalized community. And just right now where I am, I feel like that element of the story is not for me. It's not the message that needs to be conveyed to me. So that's that. Let me wrap this up because I don't know how much space I have left on this memory card. That was September. I had a really good reading month, I think. I had a very diverse reading month, I think. From reading my first Brontë, I got some romance in there. I finally finished the Earthseed, I guess, duology. I read Dark Academia. We had just like a lot of variety going on, and I did not have any disappointing reads this month. I, for the most part, thoroughly enjoyed everything that I read. Please God, this continues going forward, especially going into October, which by the time you've seen this, knowing me, it will already be up. My October TBR is inspired by Sinners. I will be reading books with Sinners vibes, and I'm so excited to get into that. I will finally be reading The Reformatory by Tanana Reeve Dew. I will finally be reading The Buffalo Hunter by Stephen Graham Jones. Both of those are sitting right next to me. Anyway, thank you for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you like me, feel free to subscribe. All my places are down below so you can follow me, and I'll follow you back. And I'll see you very soon. I'm very tired. Goodbye.